Hey, boys and girls. So here we are. I'm going to move this over a little bit. Here we are in our about third day of this project. And right now you should all have your resources, 3 to 5. You should have, if you have more than that, that's okay. You should all have a topic. That would have been yesterday. And you spent yesterday reading and kind of diving down a rabbit hole and learning about your moment in history or your person or your event or what have you. So today is where the rubber meets the road a little bit. We are going to take your note cards, right? You all have your note cards. And if you don't, that's okay. You can do this in your journal too. I like to stick to the traditional old school note card method just because it helps me organize when I'm actually writing. I can take them apart and move them. But, you can make it work with your journal too. That's okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our stack of note cards. We're going to get our trusty sharp pencil, and you might even want your red pen. And we are going to look at one of our articles. So I'm just going to look at Anne Frank and her role in World War II and who was she. And, I don't know a lot about her, so that's what I'm doing. I'm researching. So I have this article pulled up. I don't have any note cards written at all yet. My first task is to find a question that I can answer in this article. We practice this a little bit in class, guys, but if this feels weird at first, that's okay. It always feels a little weird when you start doing the note card thing, but then you get in a flow. So I'm going to kind of skip down into the meat of it. Okay, so this one's titled, Who is Anne Frank? So this is kind of making it a little bit easy for me. Oh man, but I don't want to write all that information. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and read it. Anne Frank was born in Germany in 1929 during a time when the country was troubled. Many people had lost their jobs and were becoming poorer, and Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi Party, was blaming Jews for Germany's problems. Afraid for their safety, Anne's parents moved the family to Holland when Anne was just 4 years old. Anne lived and went to school in Amsterdam and had to learn Dutch. She made lots of friends and spent her free time reading and playing table tennis. Okay, so I am going to start with this question. Why did Anne's parents move the family to Amsterdam? Why did they move to Holland? So she was born in Germany, right? And you can start with that. That would be actually an easy one to start with. Sorry. My first question is going to be, where was Anne Frank born? So, at the top of my note card, I'm going to write, where was Anne Frank born? In your best handwriting. With a nice little question mark at the end, and I'm going to underline it. Underlined. There we go. See? There we go. What's the answer? She was born in Germany in 1929. Now I'm going to write it in a full sentence. I'm going to say Anne Frank was born in Germany in 1929. Cool. Excellent. That's it. Note card done. Oh, but wait. Remember, even though I'm not going to be a big stickler about citing your sources in this essay, you always have to know where you get your information. So what I would like you to do is just write the name of the website where you got this. What is this titled? Move my face out of the way. This is natgeokids.com. So I'm going to write natgeokids.com on the back. And then the title of the page is The Life of Anne Frank. Okay? Anne Frank. And then this serves two purposes. So then also, if you are going through and you don't remember where you found this really good puddle of information and you want to go back to it, look at your note cards. It'll point you right back to where you need to be. All right, so let's go back to where we were. I'm ready for my second note card. Ta-da. Okay, now I'm going to ask the question of why did they move? So we have where she was born. This is going to give us a little bit of a timeline and a nice segue into the historical moments of the time. Now I want to ask, why did her family move from Germany? Okay? That springboards off my first question, right? We know she was originally born in Germany, and we see right here they moved to Holland and the city Amsterdam, right? So I'm going to ask, why did Anne Frank's family, you could say move to Holland or leave Germany, either way. I'm going to say leave Germany. Leave Germany. Why did they leave? Let's see. Afraid for their safety, Anne's parents moved the family to Holland when Anne was just 4 years old. So we could say just that because they were scared, but I would include what were they scared of? Many people had lost their jobs and were becoming poorer and poorer, and Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi Party, was blaming Jews for Germany's problems. So maybe you could say a combination of Adolf Hitler was gaining power in Germany, or you could say they were afraid for their safety. You could keep it simple and then have another note card that springs off of it. So let's go the simple route. I'm just going to say they were afraid for their safety because Germany at the time was becoming troubled. So I'm literally just taking information from here, kind of putting it together in a sentence that I'll be able to look back on and then use to inform my writing. They left because they were afraid for their safety. For their safety. You know what? I'm actually just going to stop there and keep it super simple. So, all this note card has is, why did Anne Frank's family leave Germany? They left because they were afraid for their safety. Bingo. That's it. Note card done. Don't forget, write the title of the website and the webpage on the back. I'm going to say natgeokids.com and Frank's, what do you say, Life of Anne Frank? Yeah, Life of Anne Frank. Okay, there we go, front and back. I already have 2 note cards. You know what? I'm going to use my last note card to inform what I write for my next one. So remember, why did Anne Frank's family leave Germany? And I wrote, they left because they were afraid for their safety. So I didn't really talk about Germany yet. So my next note card is going to be, why were they afraid for their safety? Bingo. Now we're going down the rabbit hole. So my question is, why was Anne Frank's family afraid for their safety? All right. Underline. Looking good. Okay, see? Underline, question. What am I going to say? So I can see in this first paragraph, that's where it starts talking about it. Let's read it again. Anne Frank was born in Germany in 1929 during a time when the country was troubled. So I could start with that. Many people had lost their jobs and were becoming poorer, and Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazi Party, was blaming Jews for Germany's problems. So I'm going to kind of summarize this in my own words. Or I'm going to try to. Say, her family was scared because Adolf Hitler was blaming Jews for Germany's problems. Germany's problems. I'm also going to say, and people were becoming poorer and losing their jobs. People were becoming poorer and losing their jobs. Okay. See? Question, underlined, answer. That's good. I'm not going to branch out into other questions. Okay. feeling good. I'm going to put the title of the webpage and the title of this website on the back of my note card. Now I already have 3 note cards, and I've read like 2 paragraphs, guys. So I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of this article. There's going to come a point when I am just not feeling the information, or I'm not able to find any more questions, or maybe it's just not really what I need for the focus of my project, and I'm going to go to another website. Make sure you have this one, the one that you're using, bookmarked in your folder like I showed you, and then you go on to your next resource. So remember, you're shooting for about 20 note cards. That's very attainable, knowing that we just got 3 note cards from 2 paragraphs. Not only resources are going to be like that, but just keep in mind you want to stay specific and focused, and that will help you pick apart the information and find what you need. Okay, join us at the 9:45 meeting if you need help today or tomorrow, and good luck.